see a performance of it to understand it, and it's a very difficult play to understand. So I thought we could do King Richard V. Sorry, King Henry V. There's just so much, like, royal family drama you need to understand to, like, make sense of these plays. So if you get it, you get it, I guess. And if you don't, you don't. I'm gonna, like, shift you guys a little bit. I currently have my microphone in, like, a fake candle, because I have a couple of, like, these fake candles. But this one is quite short. It's a little bit shorter than the one that I'm currently using. I might actually switch to soft-spoken for this one, because I want you guys to be able to understand me when I read. Go back. I had to sort out the microphone situation because it was not working with me. But yeah, so let's get started. The prologue. Enter chorus. Oh, for a muse of fire that would ascend, the brightest in heaven of intervention. Alright, we're back. Let's begin this play. The prologue. Enter chorus. Oh, for a muse of fire that would ascend, the brightest heaven of invention, a kingdom for a stage, princes to act, and monarchs to behold the swelling scene. Then should a warlike Harry, like himself, assume the port of Mars, and at his heels, leashed in like hounds, should famine, sword, and fire crouch for employment, but pardon gentles all, the flat, unraised spirits that half dared on this unworthy scaffold to bring forth so great an object. Can this cockpit hold the vast fields of France? Or may we cram within this wooden O the very casks that did affright the air in Agnacord? Sorry for my mispronunciation. Oh, pardon, since a crooked figure may attest in little place a million, and let us, ciphers to this great work, on your imaginary forces work. Suppose within the girdle of these walls, and now confined two mighty monarchies, whose high upreared and abutting fronts, the perilous narrow ocean parts asunder. Piece out our imperfections with your thoughts. Into 1,000 parts divide one man, and make imaginary precedents. Think, when we talk of horses, that you see them printing their proud hoofs if the receiving earth, for 'tis your thoughts that now must deck our kings, carry them here and there, jumping o'er times, turning the accomplishments of many years into an hourglass, for the which supply, admit me chorus to this history, who, prologue like, your humble patience pray, gently to hear, kindly to judge our play. Exit chorus. Act 1, Scene 1. London, an antechamber in King Henry's palace. Enter two bishops of Canterbury and Ely. Canterbury. My lord, I tell you, that self-bill is urged, which in the 11th year of this last king's reign was like, and had been indeed against us past. but that the scrambling and unquiet time, did it push out a farther question? Eli. But how, my lord, shall we resist it now? It must be thought on. If it passes against us, we lose the better half of our possession. For all the temporal lands, which men devout, by testament have given to the church, would they strip us from being valued thus, as much as would maintain to the king's honour, full 15 earls and 1,500 knights, 6,200 good esquires, and to relief of lazars a weak age, of indigent faint souls past corporal toil, and 100 almshouses right well supplied, and to the coffers of the king's beside, 1,000 pounds by the year. Thus runs the bill. This would drink deep. 'Twould drink the cup and all. But what prevention? The king is full of grace and fair regard, and a true lover of the Holy Church. The courses of his youth promised it not. The breath no sooner left his father's body, but to his wilderness mortified him, seemed to die too. Yea, at that very moment, consideration like an angel came, and whipped the offending Adam out of him, leaving his body as a paradise, to envelop and contain celestial spirits. It was such a sudden sculler-made. Never came information in a flood, with such a heady currents scouring faults, nor never hydra healed wilfulness. So soon did he lose seat, and all at once, as the king. We are blessed in this change. Hear him but reason in divinity, and all admiring, with an inward wish, you would desire the king were made a prelate. Hear him debate of commonwealth affairs, you would say it hath been all in all his study. List his discourse of war, and you shall hear a fateful battle render you a music. Turn him to any cause of policy, the Gordian knot of it he will unloose, familiar as his garter, that when he speaks, the air a chattered libertine is still, and the mute wonder lurketh in men's ears, to steal his sweet and honeyed sentences, so that the art and practic part of life must be the mistress of this theoric, which is a wonder how his grace should clean it, since his addiction was to courses vain, his companies unlettered, rude and shallow, his hours filled up with riots, banquets, sports, and never noted him any study, any retirement, any sequestration from open haunts and popularity. The strawberry grows underneath the nettle, and wholesome berries thrive and ripen best, neighboured by fruits of baser quality. And so the prince obscured his contemplation under the veils of wilderness, which no doubt grew like the summer grass fastest by night, unseen yet creative in his faculty. It must be so, for miracles are ceased, and therefore we must needs admit the means how things are perfected. But my good lord, how now for mitigations of this bill, urged by the Commons, doth his Majesty incline it to or not? He seems indifferent, or rather swaying more upon our part, than cherishing the exhibitors against us, for I have made an offer to his Majesty, upon our spiritual convocation, and in regards of causes now in hand, which I have opened in his grace at large, as touching France to give him the greater sum, than did than ever at one time the clergy yet did his predecessor's part withdraw. How did this officing receive my lord? With good acceptance of his majesty, save that there was no time enough to hear, as I perceived his grace would fain have done, the several and unhidden passages of his true titles to some certain dukedoms, and certainly to the crown and seat of France, derived from Edward his great-grandfather. What was the impediment that broke this off? The French ambassador upon that instant craved audience. In the hour I think is come to give his hearing. Is it 4 o'clock? It is. Then we go in, to know his embassy, which I could with a ready guess declare, before the Frenchmen speak a word of it. I'll wait upon you, and I long to hear it. Exit Canterbury and Ely. My god. It's gonna be a quick as fuck video, but I think 16 minutes is more than enough to get you lot to sleep. I think I might go act by act for this. If you also want like a little annotation along with it, I'm happy to share my notes that we studied in class. I'm happy to share those. Happy